You've got tiles, you want to make them into this, not too sure how to go about it, to create this sort of design. Stay tuned and I'm going to show you how. The tools that you're going to need today for this project. You are going to need a pen that is going to make your template for your leaves so you can trace around it and you know where to cut. You're also going to need some straight edge nippers. Now these are two different ones. They've got straight edges on. This is a compound nipper. It's got a double action on it, which makes cutting porcelain tiles really, really easy. This is a single mechanism and it is easy to cut, but it does take a little bit more work in your hands. So if you've got weak hands, this might be a little bit harder. The compound nippers are the ones that I recommend. The other thing that I'm going to use today, which you probably haven't used on your ceramics before, is a glass scorer. The glass scorer is going to make cutting these out really, really easy. If you don't have a glass scorer, don't panic. I'm going to show you how to do it without a glass scorer as well. So stay tuned to see how all of this works together. We have our tools ready and we're about to start. I've got my template, I've got my marker, and I'm going to trace around that leaf shape. It doesn't have to be exact. I just like doing something very simply. And because we've got a whole tile, we're not going to waste this tile. I might as well make another leaf while I'm at it. Before we cut this out though, I'm going to cut it on the tile cutter, cut it in half. If you use a tile cutter, you score it first, so there's a little rotary wheel on that, it's scored, and then I'm going to snap it in half. Now this will make it easier to use my compound nippers and nibble around the edges. So where I've used my marker, I'm just putting my nippers up to that marker and then snapping little bits at a time of the tile off. Remember, take your time. This is not a really quick process, even though it looks very quick because we've got it on speed. So little bits at a time, and you can see all the shards that are coming off. They're not really big bits, they're just little nibbles. And that's done, 2 leaves. I use a ruler just to clear my workbench, and all those pieces will be cleared up later and put into the bin. This is another technique I'm going to show you. This time I'm actually going to show you how I do my template. So I just trace around my tile, then I'm just freehanding a leaf shape. It can be any sort of shape that you like, but this is one that I just thought I'd do. And then cut around it with your scissors. Now I'm only going to be using 2 of these leaf shapes, but you've got 3 there to play with. Place it on your tile, work out which is the best way to do it so you don't have too much wastage on your tile as well. So trace around it with your marker. And I had to work out a couple of ways to do this, so it didn't happen straight away. Now I've got my glass scorer, so I'm going to score around the leaf pattern. And notice I'm turning the tile as I'm doing this. It actually makes it easy to go around curves. Using a tile cutter means that I'm actually going to score this, and it's going to make it easier to nip these tiles. I've got my compound nippers, and I had them just on the edge, and you can see when I snapped, a whole heap came away because it's breaking off where the glass was scored. Nibbling just a little bit, and it breaks along where that glass is scored, and it gives a beautiful finish. The these edges are a lot straighter than just nibbling. So, little bit of a nibble, not taking a whole heap off at a time. Just little pieces. Remember to take your time. Don't try and take too much off at once. And this time when I go in, the leaf will actually come apart. You can see how the whole thing was scored. And it broke where it was scored. Just tidying up that little edge, and that's now finished. I don't need to do any sanding back because where it was scored. And done. Cleaning up my edges, cleaning up my table again. I'm going to be using the glass scorer, and the glass scorer is going to be putting in the veins of this leaf. I'm not going to break it, but when I actually grout this leaf, the grout will be caught where the scoring line is on that leaf. Another technique for cutting the tiles, getting the marker out again, tracing around that leaf pattern. You could freehand it if you want, but it's nice to have a pattern to follow, a guideline. Scoring around the leaves again with the glass scorer. Remember, glaze on your tile is glass, so you're not going to ruin your glass scorer. And I'm going to use a ruler to score the glass, not the tile cutter. So I've just used that, using the tile cutter just to break it, but not for the scoring. And you can see where I broke that tile. It's breaking along where the glass was, where that tile was scored. So I'm not using my nippers this time, I'm using the tile cutter. Just that breaking part. That one didn't break, but I'll try again. Oops, broken the wrong place. That's okay. It's cutting away. You can see where it's breaking along where I had scored that leaf. Just using the tile nippers now to finish off what I couldn't break off on the tile cutter. Just trimming up a little bit, and they're done. So a lot less nipping, and that was a little bit easier. Another technique to do. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video today. I've got lots of other videos to show you how to make the rest of the flower. So if you liked what you saw today, could you please ring that bell? Ring that bell and subscribe. Also hit that like button. We'll see you soon. I'm Cheryl Hann-Woodlock from Hann-Made Studios saying bye for now.